And we're live. I always wanted to say that. We're here. We're here. We're live. We're chatting. I got a lot to talk about today.
Oh.
We skipped last week. Chris was gallivanting somewhere.
Yep.
And I was here slaving away, holding down the fort. And I don't even know if I was here. Was I even here? I don't know. I was doing something.
I don't know. I wasn't here.
I think I was working. What was I working on? The Tesla, maybe? No.
I think so, because in the video you said you left it Friday and came back on Monday to it.
And why did it feel like it took me all week to finish the thing? I guess that's just what it does. Mm-hmm. That's what happens to me. Anyway, what's up, people? We've got a lot of stuff to talk about that are going to be that picture with those glasses. How does that happen? I forgot about that. Got a fresh haircut yesterday.
Yeah.
Started hitting the weights again.
Mm-hmm. Today,
hired myself another food prepper. You want to go on a challenge? You want to do a weight loss challenge?
Yeah, I need to.
It's not looking good for you, though. I'm going to win.
That's what you said the last two times.
It's true. I was always starting something else. So.
I saw the Athletic Greens email. It's like, okay, good. I'm going to buy that from him when he quits.
I forgot I bought that this morning. That was a moment of weakness.
Yeah, good, because I could use that.
Yeah,
so here's today's thumbnail. This was the
I forgot about that.
Backwards hat.
That's appropriate for the thing. I got a comment I'm looking for here that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, you're replying to you've been reading comments again?
Not as much. I mean, I've been really doing well. You know, other than I got to go to the eye doctor Monday, I'm freaking out. Pretty sure I've got a problem.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's going to be the year of the eye.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Just have them knock you out and do all the stuff they need to do at one time.
I wish it was that simple.
Yeah,
where's that comment? It was a good one. Anyway,
Whatever.
You go ahead. And
while you're doing that, let's see.
I want to talk about this comment a little bit anyway.
Okay. Let's see here. We got some people checking in. Our buddy Dan up in Minnesota. Good. How many acres of SwissTrax will you be installing at Adam LZ's new compound? Harv wants to know.
I don't know if he's going to be able to swing that one.
Yeah. He blew it all in the compound. Let's see here. There was a couple questions that I wanted to get to. That have you seen? I need to show you a picture of this. The Adams Unicorn shampoo.
No, I've seen. They've freaking been spamming crazy the sponsor ads, but
like,
I don't understand the point.
Adams Unicorn shampoo now available. It's just different colors, I guess. Is that the deal? Red, blue, and yellow.
Oh, okay. I thought it like changed color midstream somehow.
No.
I'm like, how are they accomplishing that?
No.
Yeah.
We can buy you a 3-pack here for $24.99, and then you get 20% off.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. That's the general audience likes interesting stuff like that. I'm not that kind of customer. Just like our customers like special edition, coating packages and things like that. It's just, so there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not interested in it, but, many people aren't interested in what we're doing.
This is true.
So,
and a unicorn, has that become their sort of mascot?
I don't know.
They got a unicorn T-shirt, a unicorn hoodie, unicorn stickers.
Yeah.
They're sold out, though. Missed out on that.
People like that,
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's the regular shampoo, just different colors, but I don't know.
Dang it, where is this freaking comment?
Let's see. Oh, here's a good question from EC on Facebook. The the dry ice cleaning series was awesome to watch. Now that the underside is gleaming, how do you keep it that way? Or do you have anything you're going to do to protect
I don't really have to do much because we're in Florida here and that car isn't going to see a whole lot of action. But, I mean, that's where the undercarriage cleaner will come in. I'll probably just blast it off every once in a while. Dang it.
There you go. Keep looking. I got a comment here from Instagram, and then it looks like Nick is also checking in here in the chat. He said, hello, OG. I'm a Formula One fan. Parentheses, not like stinky NASCAR. Close parentheses.
God, I like that.
And notice that the Mercedes and Aston Martin team are both using CSL on their cars prior to races. If that doesn't tell you how good CSL is, then I don't know what will.
Well, I think they're also a little bit of a sponsor or something for that. So Yeah.
Also, big thank you to Chris for the one-of-one Slamry CSL and Exo kit. The process on my E24 635 CSI has begun. So he asked me to draw a picture of the Slamry on the bottle, so I did my best.
You drew it?
Yeah, and I'm a terrible artist, but it is one of one. He's correct about that. And let's see. Oh, Tom has a good suggestion here from Facebook. I would love to see Matt interview Adam LZ. I don't know that you've ever sat down and interviewed him like in here, have you? Or did we do that once?
I did something with Brian and I. But yeah, maybe we should do that. We should do that again.
Yeah. Well, his point was it's easy to understand Obsessed Garage's business model, but for the life of me, I cannot figure out what Adam actually does. It's part of the secret.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of people would enjoy that. A lot of people enjoyed that Tommy Effia chat that you had. That had a lot of views and a lot of good comments there.
Yeah, Tommy's back in town. He was going to come over yesterday.
He's back here again?
Yeah, he was in Apopka doing something. I don't know what. He's always up to something shady.
Interesting.
So I don't know what he was down here for, but it looks like that dude maybe deleted his comment. That's why. Oh yeah, here it is. I got it.
Okay. So which video is this?
We'll go back to that later. I don't want to go into it right this minute.
Okay. Well.
It's a good comment. It's just that it's going to help some people out, I think.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Jeff's detailing wants to know, Matt, what's the best way to remove light scratches from the face of diamond cut wheels?
I don't know what a diamond cut wheel is.
Me either. I was hoping you did.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think it'd be the same process as anything, where you just get a polisher out and do it.
All right. Know. So sorry, Jeff's detailing.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. He knows something I don't know about. I don't know what a diamond cut wheel is. Assuming they use diamonds to forge the wheel or something. Do they roll it around in diamonds to like hone the finish? I don't know what that is.
Fancy.
I fancy myself as a guy that knows things about wheels, but I guess I don't know about that one. He'll have to teach me.
All right, I want to get to this one because you just came from this realm. From MadDog449 on Instagram. What did Matt think of the Dyne Audio music line of Bluetooth speakers? Any idea when we can get our hands on these, or will any Dyne Audio will be in stock?
Yeah, I mean, we have it now. We just got them. This is the weird red one. I obviously only ordered a few reds. I didn't stage this. I just brought this over because I was deep in it, and I figured I'd probably want to talk about it a little bit. But
that's the 3, right?
This is the 3, right? There's the 1, 3, 5, and 7, right? And the 1 and the 3 are wireless. The 5 and the 7 are bigger. They're wired, meaning that you can play this for, they say, 8 hours. That's probably at like volume level 1 or something, but it's probably 3-4 hours of playback at reasonable listening volumes, and they're either Bluetooth or AirPlay 2. And so those are some of the things me, Bryce, Mike, and Mike were digging into. One of the things I don't want to do is just retail speakers just because I can. I am probably more excited about this, not the music, but just audio for the garage in general, than I've been excited about anything outside of like getting my first cabinets. It's one of my favorite things in the garage. It's one of the places that I will take time to listen to music is in the garage. But the problem is the garage is such a bad place to listen to music. Just like the car is such a bad place to listen to music, and those are the two places I listen to music. And so I'm always having to, make compromises. And I've been a fan of the I guess they're made in, I forget what it's like, Skotteberg, Denmark. So the Danish speakers. Now these are Chinese made to, they're Chinese manufactured to, to the Danish spec in order to make them reasonable price. I mean, this one's $500. So they start at $350, $500, I think $700 and $900. So these are like ultra expensive Bluetooth speakers. And I think that for most people in the garage, you're not going to do like a receiver and a pair of bookshelves. Now that's what I would recommend. But if we're looking for some decent audio that you can get, something like this where you can take it around the house and just not have it not just be in the garage, these things are freaking amazing. And so one of the things that I'm working on is I'm going to really understand it. What's in it, what's it made of, what are the audio formats. So these operate on either aptX, which you can get through like a Samsung Galaxy phone. So that's the Bluetooth codec. On an Apple iPhone, it's going to be AAC, and then through AirPlay. And then all their literature says AirPlay, but there's AirPlay and AirPlay 2. AirPlay 2 is considerably different. And so we're confirming with the factory that it is indeed AirPlay 2, because all the literature says it is 24-bit 96 kilohertz capable. But AirPlay 1 is 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz. AirPlay 2 is 24-bit 44.1 kilohertz, lossless. So anyway, we're digging into the details of these to provide the world with some resource to buy something like this instead of just retailing it. Then they come in blue, red, dark gray, and light gray. And well, obviously, most people are going to buy dark gray or light gray. I like the dark gray the best, especially for the garage. But I mean, you can use it anywhere. I think we're going to get into selling audio all over the place. But this would be on the high-end side of products we're going to carry. And we're going to have the same sort of, the goal is to have basic, advanced, ultimate. This would be part of the ultimate stuff. Not for everyone. Very few people are going to buy a $500 little baby Bluetooth speaker. But if you value audio, this is the way to go. The other thing we're going to talk about is what speakers work for what type of listener. I like speakers that aren't fatiguing. I'm more sensitive to high frequency, noise, if you are, or brighter speakers. These all use silk dome tweeters, which I think is the perfect combination for the garage. The garage is a harsh environment, has lots of metal, concrete, windshields, from your so a lot of glass and things like that. And so it's not a very good listening environment. So I think a more subdued, flatter frequency response speaker is the way to go. And so these things are freaking awesome. So we're going to make the video here either this afternoon, probably Monday, but digging into, how could you mount them? What are your different options? Where's the best way to put it? Bryce is going to dig in and show people how to set it up because it's kind of clunky. Just like Sonos is kind of clunky, and a lot of these wireless interfaces are kind of clunky. There's little quirks to them. We're going to show people how to do it, how to set it up, and what buttons to press and all that stuff. So it's coming. We have them in stock. If you want one of them, you know which one you want. The one to get is the 7, obviously. But if you want, the bigger the better. The more you can spend on it, the better off it'll be. And I think you get it in. I have the red one here. I wanted to get all the colors out so we could take pictures. So I'm making that substantial investment in opening up all these boxes so that way we can take our own photos, assess the colors ourselves, and then provide people some real-world advice. And so we're going to dig in deep, and we'll learn more and more and more over time as people use them and try them, and we'll stock more of them as we figure out what colors people want and all of that. But if you'll honor the source and help me chase this audio project, I really appreciate it, because I think that we're going to be able to provide some value, some real significant value on studio monitors, non-powered towers with a receiver, or bookshelves and towers, in ceiling, in walls for some of these bigger garages that we're doing, as well as powered wireless systems like this, and powered wireless bookshelf speakers and wireless subwoofers and things like that, depending on the application. You're always better off with wires and a receiver, but if we can make it simpler in some existing garage where you don't want to cut drywall, that's what we're chasing. So we're going to be doing that. So I'm waiting. We're going to get through the whole Dyne audio line, or a large percentage of it, and then hopefully you guys will buy some of it, and then I'm going to use Dyne Audio to leverage and hopefully get SVS to allow me to sell their stuff as well.
All right, related to that, from Mopeds in Macedonia on Instagram, hey Maddie, what kind of music do you listen to when the camera's not rolling? So when you're testing those speakers, what do you listen to?
I mean, mainly like 2000s rock in most cases, like I don't know, like Seether and Hurt and Incubus and stuff like that. But then I don't know, just listen to all kinds of stuff. But rock, I have a preference towards 2000s rock, if you will, is my preference. I don't really listen to rap. I certainly don't listen to country. And then like chick music, like I was just listening to Sarah Bareilles or Sarah McLachlan or something like that.
Good stuff. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna get
Not Ariana Grande, like
that's what I was thinking.
The little bros next door like to.
Let me get you a couple detailing questions here. Have you used the new Jesscar Ultralock Plus If so, will it be making its way to the OG store?
I haven't, but I'll probably try it out. That is something I'll probably test out. We're the guys over next door have gotten me remotivated on. We're coming out with a metal cleaning, metal maintaining, and metal, just like a metal package. Take care of your exhaust tips and stuff like that. We have a mat care line. We're going to do the Dr. Beasley's mat care stuff. And we'll have a mat care. I don't think we'll sell a lot of that, but for people, because we get that question a lot, so we'll dig into that. We're going to be doing a wheel coating, a specific one. So of Carpo Deluxe, we're going to be doing here and sort of showing people how to use that in gliss for wheels. I've just been real unhappy with the whole wheel thing for a while, so we're going to play with that a bit. We may or may not have a new drying aid. That whole topper thing is a bunch of nonsense. So I was ready to do the the Extreme Solutions topper, but I'm 99% certain they don't actually make it. So, which is fine, but they frickin' told me they did, and I think they're lying to me. So, I don't mind if somebody's not making it, but I think it's just an off-the-shelf B&B product. So, we'll see with how that goes. But I like the product because it's Bead Maker's great, but this is very similar looking and has like zero potential side effects. It's just way easier to use. So we're thinking about some stuff like that. I've talked about in the last Inside the Hex. I didn't do an Inside the Hex video this week. It's just so much going on, and I'll have more updates for the Hex members next week. I do want to sit down and do a discussion on how I feel things should be. Talk about my style of selling and do like a very business specific video. So anyway, that's a story.
All right, Mark Wallace on Facebook wants to know, Matt mentioned that he used CSL XO on the side and rear windows of the Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
How is that working out?
Yeah, I think pretty good. Just acting just like the paint. I don't think you should use it on the glass on a windshield, but I did use it all over the place, and it seems to be doing pretty well. I think so.
All right, getting back to something you just mentioned from EC here on Facebook. What do you use when you wipe down a freshly installed exhaust system? I can't remember which video I saw you mentioned it in before.
I wipe it down with WD-40, and that'll help so you don't end up like burning in your fingerprints into the metal. So you wipe it down with WD-40, and then I'm actually going to be testing out from our new friend Scott from the Dryce Man, if you will, the dry ice guy. Scott has turned me on to something called OSVO. I think it's OSVO. I don't know what it is, or haven't dug into it that far yet. But I'm going to be doing cleaning up the GT3 Dundon rear section, which I've using that to clean it up and prepare it to put it back on the car. And that's what he used on the exhaust with quadruple aught. Which people don't like you saying. Apparently, some people. So 0000 style. What is it? Scotch? Is this bright or something like that?
Yeah, like a Brillo pad.
Yeah,
steel wool.
Steel wool. Yeah, I gotta find that. Gotta buy some of that.
All right. Henry wants to know, or Henri wants to know, Matt, do you wash all your towels together or split them up, glass, wheels, etc.?
No, I don't split them by type. I split them by color. And then after you wash them 2 or 3 times, you can put like the blues and the blacks and all those together. But in the beginning, just by color, so that the ones that aren't good are going to bleed. So don't wash the orange and the yellows together. Don't wash the pluffles with the OSPHO.
Yeah, Ram in the chat. Correct.
OSPHO.
Yeah, OSPHO.
What is it?
Let's
I
see.
just know some green-looking stuff.
Used for rusted surfaces. It retards rust and chemical change on drying to a tough, hard surface ready for priming. So I guess
interesting.
86 years it's been around. Let's see. Randy wants to know, let's get to the garage chat for here just a second. How are the magic stairs working out for you? My current setup is dangerous, and they seem like a perfect solution.
It's so good. People are so funny. Like, I could understand if you were a grandma. I said, well, yeah. You know how many, for like, let's see, I got my first house in 2005. And that house I didn't have even the like the Warner or the regular attic ladder. I would just put a 6-foot ladder, and I would shaky leg it up there, carrying big heavy crap, and having to do the old tricep dip to get up in there, and then doing the old tiptoe, trying to get your toe on the 6-foot ladder and stepping on the top. That was step 1. Step 2, the next house, I actually got an attic ladder, like a Warner or Home Depot attic ladder. But you're still, taking that the Christmas tree and freaking trying to hoist it. Michelle's holding the bottom and it's ready to collapse. And so I've did that for a number of years. And then, of course, at the wash bay, I didn't have an attic ladder, but you do the attic ladder. And this house had it has 11, almost 10 foot 3-inch ceiling, so over 10-foot ceiling, and it had like a pretty vertical attic ladder. And I'm hoisting all this crap up there, and I saw those magic stairs. I don't care how big or small your attic is. You're gonna have put stuff up in there, so you don't have a goofy crap in your garage. Get all that junk out of your garage. The only thing we really have, like, we've got some chairs that we use sometimes of the year for football. I've got cables, my cable stash for HDMI cables and speaker wires and stuff like that you inevitably need. I've got always a few little AV pieces of equipment up there, and then we got our Christmas stuff, Christmas, Easter, all that bull crap, which we thinned out dramatically. But you still have to put it somewhere. And so if you don't have a shed, then people put it in this goofy crap in the garage. And so what better thing to do is to put it in the attic. And so the stairs are $3,300, and it's freaking awesome. And I'm telling you, I bet you any amount of money, if I try to sell this house, that would be the sales thing, because people just don't have enough imagination to to do it. It's simple. Like, I paid the guy. He came out and installed it. It was done by they got there at 7:30. They were out of there by noon, and they did both the attic ladder and the lift. It was incredible. It's freaking awesome. I want to sell them, but they're kind of complicated. So, yeah. But it's a guy here in Ocala that makes them. They sell them all over the place. But so I'm going to do what I always do and make somebody else rich while I get nothing for it. But, whatever.
All right, staying on the garage chat here for just a second. What is the reason for installing cabinets before painting and flooring in the new home garage?
Because the cabinets showed up. I got crap all over the floor. They weren't done with the drywall. And I've got to put another sheet of drywall up, and I've got to do some bracing of the wall and do the pressure washer. And so my painters are wizards, and they won't get a drop of paint on them, so why not? Just put them up.
But in a perfect world, would you do it a different order?
Well, the only other problem is you're going to have to repaint half of it, because you're going to jack up the walls by putting the cabinets up. You're sliding it up the wall and stuff, so you're going to have to touch it up anyway. So I don't think it freaking matters. I didn't put the flooring down first because I don't want the flooring getting all jacked up, because we still have a lot to do. We got to paint and we got to do all kinds of stuff. But even then, you could put the flooring down and have the painters paint. They aren't getting paint on anything. Those guys are wizards.
So just hire good painters.
Yeah, I mean, so it doesn't matter. In a perfect world, you would have the painters paint first, and then you're going to have the painters come back out and paint again after you've jacked up the walls from sliding the cabinets around. So the way I look at it is, well, why don't I just put the cabinets up? Because they're in the way, and I'm tired of not being able to park in the garage. So when the cabinets get there, you put them on the wall, is the way I look at it.
All right, let's see. We have a detailing question here from Clinton in the chat. G-Technic CSU or C1 for soft black exterior panels. Just got my wife a Bronco Sport, and there's a lot of glossy black plastic to polish and protect.
I'd always err on the side of CSU. I mean, C1 is their original, old, heavy solvent. It's kind of difficult to work with, but it is pretty stout. I've never really used C1, but they do suggest it on certain things. I don't know. I'd probably err on the side of using CSU just because I know how great that is.
All right, let's see. Oh, our buddy Jeff Johnson is back in the chat. He's been gone a while. I heard he works for Reebok now. That's the rumor. He says, gentlemen, glad to see you too. Good. Corey wants to know if you had a chance to put the Dundon headers on the GT4 yet.
Nope, it's on the list. We get those done probably next week. That and the Dundon exhaust headers and exhaust on the GT3 RS too. So we'll be doing that here shortly.
All right, Joe wants to know, how would you compare the new topper to something like ECH2O? I just switched to that from Beadmaker, and so far I'm liking it.
ECH2O just doesn't really add anything to the look. That's why, because I was using that for a while, and it does well. It wipes off nicely. It doesn't play very well on the Windows. ECH2O, I don't like it on Windows. Beadmaker did really well on that, and added some depth. The guys did a bunch of side-by-side comparisons. So for whatever the purple water topper is, does great on all surfaces. And I find that ECH2 sometimes just didn't play very well. But ECH2 I think is a nice basic lubricating drying aid, adds a little layer protection. Just doesn't add anything, I think, to the look. And that's where these other two I think are superior.
All right, let's see. Destin on Instagram wants to know, is there any chance of getting different colored PF22 QDs?
No.
It's tough enough to get the blue ones made.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bob the Builder wants to know, any special requirements or lift pucks when you lifted your Tesla?
No, I just put the regular things and just put it so they didn't touch the battery. Everybody, it's not all those big old wives' tale bullcrap things where people start freaking out like you're going to break the battery. If you put something sharp, it could damage it, but you just keep the little lift block on the outside of the car and it's fine. So it's no big deal at all. You don't need anything special for it. It works great. Who's freaking calling me?
All right, let's see.
Get out of here.
Brian in the chat wants to know, I really like the pearl silver SwissTrax flooring that was installed in the garage giveaway. Mm-hmm. Is that color harder to keep clean than the slate gray?
No, it's easier. It's got a little sheen to it. So pearl silver and pearl gray both have a little sheen to it that makes it a little bit slicker. So there's a little bit of texture, a little bit of porousness to the surface of the slate gray that the pearls don't have, and so they're actually easier to keep clean.
All right, Nick says, hey guys, what do you suggest for medium to dirty leather? Just bought a Golf R and the seats are pretty dirty.
Yeah, get yourself the Color Lock brush and get mild and strong cleaner from Color Lock. And you'll put the foam it on the brush, and you'll get yourself the blue interior towels. Get a bunch of them, get like 20 of them because you're gonna need them, and then get a bucket of water, just a bucket of regular water, so you can rinse out your brush every so often. And you're gonna work sections at a time. Trying to think of what, like I just did the Tesla. Trying to think of what other cars I've done here recently where we use the black M5,
the green M3 or no?
Not really. No. I just did. So you just wanna use the brush. It won't damage the leather, and then you follow with leather shield. And so go check out some of the interior cleaning. Just search interior cleaning on the channel. I've got all kinds of different options of that, and we've transitioned to Color Lock. The SwissVax has some benefits. Some of the SwissVax stuff is Color Lock, but we just never get it. And so I think that I think it's the way to go.
All right, Steve Rose wants to know, did the Model 3 wheels come in yet?
They just finished them. I think Kyle and Bryce are going to get them next weekend. But the videos are coming out here over the weekend of the suspension install. Car looks really good where it's sitting right now, even with those stupid wheels. I'm going to have to schedule Martin to do the tint, but we're moving along. All
right, let's see here. Oh, our buddy Brian Deal finally joining us today. He almost missed us. Get back to work, Brian. Alfredo says, hey Matt, I just started therapy for anxiety and was wondering if you were still doing brain spotting.
I didn't like that one. I felt like it didn't do anything. I'm still doing ART. Maybe because I didn't do the brain spotting in person, but I just feel like it didn't work for me. You kind of like stare in a direction, and I don't know, it just wasn't working. But yeah, I just had a session of ART this morning.
All right, let's see. Taylor has a good question here in the chat. He says, how is Michelle from Lady Lake feeling about living in a construction site?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on over there.
Apparently, according to Lake County, it is a construction site. She doesn't freaking care. I mean, she'd rather it be all done, but she'll appreciate the body of work. I mean, this house is going to be really nice. I started thinking about this could be my backup plan. I come in and set up OG spec houses, this house. You just fix all the little things that nobody ever does, and then charge what it's worth, which is, way more than what the goofy, you'd have to sell it to people that have money to buy it. But just think about all this work to make all the little things that nobody thinks about.
All right, let's see. On a similar topic, Ashborg on Instagram wants to know, has Matt made any new friends or enemies in the neighborhood or been recognized yet?
Yeah, lots of friends and 2 enemies. Those would be the heads of the HOA, and not good. So I figured it'd be way better to ask for forgiveness than permission, because I don't want somebody telling me no.
Right.
Because it'd be like people tell me no on everything. Everything I do is a no. No, I'm like, no, just let me do it. I've never once when have you ever seen I come out with something, it didn't turn out well, other than our weight loss challenges, right? But I mean, if I'm working on some product type thing, it always this desk or the something like this, the stuff that I do, it almost always comes out well, and a lot of times it takes a few iterations, to get something to come out well. Like all the cars I do, they come out well. Whether or not it's perfect or the best doesn't really matter, but it usually comes out a pretty decent result. And so I figured I'd move fast, get the result, and then I would ask for forgiveness. And so that's what I've been doing. But boy, those guys were mad when we had dump trucks, because we had to do the drain field. And so the funny thing is that there's a lot of funny people with lawsuits going on. And so I'm doing them a solid, fixing the darn thing. And otherwise there'd be the freaking poop guys are in my front yard. And so I don't think I need to ask for permission to fix this. And so, they were losing their crap. So the developers and the people who run the community are, these old men, they're cowards. So they won't come to me because I'll freaking give them the stare down. I'll do the old one of these things to them and watch them freaking cringe like little babies. Then next thing you know, I'm getting sued. But they called the Lake County Building Department, said I'm doing stuff wrong. They never asked. They never looked. They haven't even stepped on my driveway. All you got to do is just come knock on the door and just ask, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't do this. That's cool, man. Sorry about that. I was planning on asking for forgiveness. I would have told them the truth. And so instead they're calling the Gestapo on me. And so then I got a letter of, you got 10 days to comply. I'm like, why don't you come on over here and take a look? I mean, we got a permit for the 2 things we need a permit for. I'm not building anything. We're not making any structural changes. We're just adding a refrigerator and some cabinets and, making the garage nice. Got a permit for the electrical stuff. Didn't need a permit for the water heater stuff. Otherwise we would have gotten one. Didn't need a permit for the water filter. Don't need a permit to put garage cabinets in. So what's the problem here? No one was yelling at the house. The house wasn't getting letters for freaking 2-foot-high weeds all around it. And, and the corbels falling off the side of the wall and the, paint all cracked and stuff. No one cared. And now I'm trying to make it great. And the man's trying to get me.
They'll have none of that.
Yeah, they don't want any of that. They don't want you messing around. They don't want to make sure you know who's boss. Well, I'm boss. That's the way I say it. So get lost, old man. Dumb old man. They're such freaking pansies. Oh, man.
I'll have to vlog that part of it. That's Inside the Hex only. You can see that. Matt fighting the old man HOA.
Get out of here, old man. I'll stomp your throat.
Daniel says, hey guys, just took delivery of a Nerd Mobile Model 3 Performance.
Okay, nice.
And a section of rear headliner has oily fingerprints.
Huh.
Any suggestions for getting it out?
You want some sort of fabric cleaner and probably a soft bristle brush. and you want to kind of dab, I think. The other thing you could consider is try to steam it. But if you don't have a steamer, then I guess you're out of luck. You just want to be careful with a headliner getting it wet. And so you're obviously going to have to add something to get it cleaned. But if you get a headliner too wet and there's a big bulky area, then I think it starts sagging. So you got to be careful with that kind of stuff.
All right, easy question for you here. Hey, Matt, what's the best Alcantara cleaner for seats in my STI?
Yeah, I think it's the Sonax that we have. I think that's the best option. Just remember, when you're doing a cleaner on a fabric, the cleaner only cleans when the cleaner comes off. You don't just rub it in and then it magically evaporates. You put the cleaner in, so you need a bottle of water, the cleaner. Even better, you have a little steamer to control how much water gets on it. But you have a little bottle of water, and so you're going to get the Alcantara damp, put the cleaner on, agitate it, and then you need the bottle of spray water. You don't want to soak it down if you can help it, but you need to get it damp and dab it to get the gunk out. So you need to get the dirt out by using a towel. And so just wiping some cleaner on is going to clean jack. You could even try, take your vacuum and try to suck it out as well. So that's where a little bit of water, a little bit of cleaner, a little bit of agitation, a little bit of water, try to vacuum it out, and then pat it dry to get the rest of the dirt out. That's what you got to do.
All right, let's see. Our friend Brian out in California, he's looking to get a KWS 700 TS.
Okay.
He wants to know, is there anywhere that he can get the dimensions for the mounting locations on that particular machine?
We could call Dirt Killer and have them measure one. Yeah, we need to get that. That's a
Brian, email me and I'll send it to support and we'll get it.
Yeah,
because they don't actually have any on hand, but I'm sure not yet anyway. It's coming on the next container. But
that's something I don't think that's for dimensions they don't keep. You're gonna have to they're gonna have to open a box and put a tape on it. Yep.
Gotcha. Let's see. Lots of anti-HOA chat here. That's good. No one likes their HOA. That's true.
We'll see how long I'm gonna last.
Where'd that question go? Here you go. Hey, Matt and Chris. Matt, which PPF would you choose for high impact areas on a truck like the rear fender flares? The rest of the truck would not have PPF.
You probably do expel their whatever ultimate plus, whatever plus mine, whatever they call it, but the thick stuff. I think they have a 10 mil thick film. Someone can the expel police can chime in on that.
Let's see. The only people who volunteer for HOA duty are tyrants with
Losers.
Control issues.
Losers, yeah.
That's funny, Edwin.
Losers. But I need to be more tactful. I need to be more, in order to win. The way to win is not to fight, to intimidate. That's what they want you to do. Mm-hmm. They want to do that. What you need to do is you don't want to manipulate, but you need to get them on your side. And so it's just like a leader would lead. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to fight them. But the other thing I was thinking about doing is we'll have the whole media team go out there, find which house is theirs, and we're going to look for blades of grass that are out of line. I'm going to call Lake County. I'm going to call the Environment Department. I'm going to say there's what are those turtles like?
The gopher tortoises.
Gopher tortoises. They got them in their property or something. I'm going to plant one there. And just we're just going to stake out on their sidewalk. Won't step in on their property, like they won't on mine, and just make 4K footage. We'll get some drones and get all kinds of shots, and we'll find out what they're doing wrong and report them. Then 2 can play that game, and I'm going to run for president.
President of the HOA.
Yeah, because if you had a good HOA, it's good. It keeps people from painting their house purple.
Yep.
But that's all.
It's a very rare thing.
Yeah, and just help me. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't got time for that. I got a poop geyser in my freaking front yard. I don't have time to come and get approvals. I'm trying to take a dump and not have it shoot back out at me. Is that too much to ask? It's not my fault to put a darn crappy system in.
I'm glad I don't have an HOA. This is good.
Yeah, it's not going to last very long for me. But once I'm done with this, they're going to be like, oh, okay. I got the freaking nicest house in the neighborhood. Took a crappy house, with weeds everywhere and garbage landscaping, and then they're like making it great. And supposedly you have to have 4 trees, so they're going to hit me on this one because I only have 3 trees. I'm like, I just planted freaking 14 9-foot tall. It cost me $7,500 to put in these porta carpuses or whatever they're called. Well, those aren't trees, sir. Those are shrubs. They're 9 feet tall. It's a tree. They're 9 feet tall and they're brand new. Wait till they grow to 20 feet tall. Freaking idiots. That's not a tree, sir. I'm a tree and I'm going to smash you.
Somebody bring us a Mountain Dew. We need a Mountain Dew over here. Timothy from somewhere, it looks like somewhere in the UK. Matt, if someone gave you $1 million,
Okay.
or where I come from, £1 million, and you had to buy one car, which one would it be?
The GT3 RS. And I'd pocket the rest. Or I'd buy 4 GT3 RSs.
There you go.
I'd buy a 997.2 GT3 RS 4.0 for $400 grand. And then I'd wait for the 992 GT3 RS, and I would buy that, and then probably take the rest of the money and buy a 992 GT3 Touring. Yeah, be good.
There you go. Let's see. Lawrence, also from the UK. Any plans to supply BAV sound replacement speakers for BMWs? I'm from the UK, and they don't export out of the US.
Yeah. Car parts are something that maybe someday, but I don't want to have a bunch of random hodgepodge of crap in the store. Right now we're so laser focused on creating an end-to-end garage solution. We could create some sister company at some point, but at this point I don't intend to do car parts. If I did, it would be a curated solution, right? So I would pick cars. And it would be, it's one of the things I've thought about, which would be one of the great things about being a car parts provider is that you get to buy all the new cars when they come out, or the cars that you want. And so I would buy a car, and then I would develop a solution for it, and I get to drive around the car, and then we would sell all the stuff. And so that's something that I would consider doing in the future. Same thing with home theater. But I think right now the smart thing to do is to stay focused.
All right, F. Beamer says, I feel like I didn't prep my steering wheel enough before applying Leather Shield.
Mm-hmm.
It has some spots over it. Any idea on how to remove those and start over?
Yeah, just get the strong cleaner out. It'll pull the shield right off. Just get the brush, and and that should work. Remember, you don't just lather a Leather Shield on and let it dry. You got to put a little bit on and then wipe it smooth. Flatten out. Otherwise, it'll leave a bunch of streaks.
All right, we got a couple super chats I want to get to here.
Ooh.
From my WRX channel, $5. Right. What is the OG spec E46, and have you found one yet?
Yeah, I want an 06 Interlagos competition package is what I really want. And I've got one that I think you guys will like that I think I'd probably do a giveaway on. It'll be a collaboration project. It's going to cost a lot of money. But I would do it if we're gonna do a giveaway. The car's a little bit molested, but we would do like a full restoration of the thing and make it really cool. The thing would be really cool content that I think people would like. And then I would hopefully use that to then go find the E46 that I want. I don't think I'm gonna find the exact one that I want, at least not anytime soon. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure 100% sure yet what I'm gonna do.
All right, he also adds here, by the way, thanks for the fast shipping on the Civic giveaway products. Lewis was a huge help. Nice.
Yeah, and that's a heads up to everybody. We're going to have to be even more candid in the future with the giveaways. We didn't anticipate the garage giveaway and the Civic giveaway. In order for it to work, I can't just buy thousands of everything and then it doesn't sell and I lose a bunch of money on a bunch of stuff that I can't sell. And so what we do is we do everything on pre-order. And some of this stuff has been months, and we're trying to figure out when's the best time to ship it and how do we break up orders, because if you break it up too many times, then like Amazon just ships you all this crap and they lose money on everything. But because they're raking everybody over the coals, they pass that cost off to the vendors on the platform. They can make it work, but we can't. And so we're going to be we're still waiting on the I&D polisher, which we should be here soon. They said by the end of the month. We don't know which month. That's what the guys were joking about next
Very
door.
sneaky.
Yeah.
All right, Manny, future OG employee Manny Oliveira says, I hope I pronounced your name right, Manny. By the way, the house hunting is going horribly. LOL. Matt, just sell me your house. There you go.
Yeah, there's not a lot of great houses in this area. You'd have to move to, like, there's tons of cool stuff in West Orlando. Yeah, but not up here.
Speaking of house, Jason Boyle says, did you ever get your house dehumidifier straightened out? I'm looking to get one.
It's in. I don't think it's really working very well, so I'm going to have to go up there and start playing with it, figure out the timing of it. I feel like the humidity, according to the Ecobee, the humidity level is identical, so I don't know. So let's address this question that I've this comment that I've been thinking about for a while. Which this is a great comment. It's something that is, I think, very common with most people. That I'm sure I'm going to hack some people off, but some people will I think this will help them out. So this is from what is that? Artyom? How do you say that? Artyom.
Artyom?
Artyom Arzamenov. So he says, Matt, this was in the podcast with Scott, where I was talking about doing quality things, and I said I didn't understand why anyone would use if you're doing this for a living, why you would use garbage products and garbage, stuff that isn't good. So he says, I understand your point about professionals using a cheap pressure washer, but I don't necessarily agree with that view. He said, for many small-time detailers starting out, every dollar counts. Yeah, it would be nice to have an awesome tool for everything, but in the end of the day, it's better to start with an okay rather than not start at all. I don't disagree. Strange to see total understanding for the less fortunate folk in the video, and hear this point in this. I guess he was talking about at the end of the. I was talking about the end of the active video. He says, strange to see total understanding for less. So he's probably saying total lack of understanding for the less fortunate in these multiple videos. I understand completely that sometimes it's best or nothing, like with this ice jet machine. But in the case of a pressure washer, outside of reliability long term, there's no need for super powerful pressure washer and detailing. You said that so yourself many times. All I'm saying is a crappy can get the job done in the beginning until there's money to upgrade. If you meant more established, reputable detailers using garbage, then of course that's stupid. So, we also talked a lot about in the dry, when I was talking with Scott, I talked a lot about the business aspect of, sometimes it makes sense to borrow money and, to use that leverage to get started. You buy a $100,000 machine in order to make $300 an hour. If you amortize that over 10 years, that's, let's say $33,000 a year plus interest. So let's say you're paying $40,000 a year. So it costs you, $20,000 in interest over the course of 10 years, maybe a little bit more. But let's say it costs you, I guess over 10 years would be to, $10,000 a year. So if you're making $300 an hour, and if you're able to bill out, even if you're billing out 1,000 hours a year, half of your available time in a 40-hour work week, that's $300,000 you made. Even if you're only doing $250 an hour, it's $250,000 that you made as an income, and you're paying, say $10,000 or $12,000 a year for 10 years in cost for the machine. Of course, you've got probably another $20,000 in rent you're going to pay, something like that, maybe a little less. So let's say $15,000, $18,000 a year in rent in order to have a building, but still you're netting out $200,000 a year. You pay your tax and you're living $120,000 net lifestyle a year on cleaning stuff. And so you had to buy the machine. You had to get the right stuff. You have to have the right equipment. You have to control humidity. You have to control stuff like that. So you spend money and to get the job done right. You borrow the money from a relative. You borrow the money from a bank. You're setting yourself up for the future. So I believe that this is, again, when you're talking about, we're using something simple like a pressure washer. So I cannot relate to the idea that if you're, let's say you're 24 years old, and you're going to start a detailing business. You could be any age, right? And let's say you don't have any money, like you haven't had any real success to this point. I think if you're 24 years old and you haven't had any real success to this point, you're going to have a hard time, like doing detailing. You're going to be jumping out of that at some point in the future as well. And so my wager is that 24-year-old, when he was at Taco Bell when he was 16, didn't take pride in his uniform, was always trying to get a day off, was always first one to leave, always a little bit late, didn't really care very much. And then his second job when he was, he's kind of went to college and went to like community college or something like that, never really committed to that, but his second job he's working for a contractor, and he's never going to buy a tape measure. It's a contractor. He was always looking to borrow somebody's tape measure. Wouldn't buy a tool belt because he's not making quote enough money to do that. And he has no aspiration. He's not like searching the Milwaukee catalog to see someday, if I'm going to do this working for a contractor, I want to have the equipment. Then his next job, he drops out of college because he never really committed to it. You can see the theme I'm going with here. And so now you're going to become a detailer, and let's say that you made it a year into it, and you're still using your Ryobi pressure washer. A good pressure washer is $950, and then you can sort of accessorize that out. How did you not do that in like the first 4 details that you're doing? You should have just done that in the beginning. Ask your dad or your mom, and here's the reason. It's because your dad or mom has already lent you 17 times up to the time you're 24. So this is a microcosm. This is a forget less fortunate nonsense. I'm talking about losers, lazy. You're not, this is a microcosm of what the rest of your life is always going to suck. It's always going to be mediocre. It's always going to be somebody else's fault. If you're going to start detailing, and if you, let's say let's shift the story. Let me explain my story. So when I'm 15, I'm at my clubhouse begging them for a job. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. And I get the job, and I'm showing up early, and I'm staying late, and I'm taking and asking for them to invest in a better mop so that I can mop the floors better, and then my next job, I'm working for the post office, and I'm buying better shoes because I feel like if I took some of the money, my feet won't hurt as much, and I could get the job done faster and better. And then I get a job at the stereo store, and I would, even though it was straight commissioned, I would be the one that I'd always want to put stuff on display, and I was always buying all the stuff because first of all, if you're passionate about what you're doing, how could you not want the stuff? How could you not want something better? How could you not want, I wanted the best TV, I wanted the best speakers, and I knew, of course, I couldn't get that day one, but I could get it like day 72 because I've been making money along the way because I've been somewhat successful. This is a microcosm of life. And so, yeah, day one, you start out, you have no money, you're going to buy a Ryobi pressure washer. But I would be telling every client that I talk to, hey, you're like my 5th client. I'm going to make this work. Here, I did this. I've been doing these other things in my past. I'm going to invest in my learning process. I'm going to invest in getting certified. I'm going to become a member of the IDA. These are all things that, if you're a loser, you can't identify the value of this stuff, of these things that is a waste of money. And so the loser is always looking at the winner, saying, well, yeah, I could understand. I'm not saying this commenter is a loser. I'm just saying he can't see this. The loser looks at the guy who has the successful shop, who has all the successful stuff, and says, well, then you could buy the pressure washer. Well, at some point, you have to buy the pressure washer, and it should be as early on as possible, so that way you can become the successful established detailer. because otherwise you're always going to be postponing. You should be investing. You borrow money, get a loan, borrow money. Stop listening to Dave Ramsey. Borrow money. Dave Ramsey probably borrowed more money than anybody. Borrow money. Don't borrow money to buy a TV. Borrow money to generate leverage and get a return. Come to me. I'll lend you some money to buy a pressure washer, and we'll get you one. You're going to pay a lot of interest to do that. But if you're using that leverage to go and make money, and you can show your clients, look, I love this. The thing that I can't relate to is how could you not want it? Like if this is if you're not passionate about all the tools and all the parts and pieces and the products you're using, if you're not passionate about that, then why the heck are you doing that job? You should want it. I spent like half of my income as a stereo guy buying stereos. How much of my income do I spend now on this? I love it. I want it. You got to chase it. It's a microcosm for the rest of my. And look at what's happening to me. Look at what happens to the other successful detailers. They're not driving around. There's no successful detailer driving around using a Ryobi. It's not happening. Don't even send me the examples because they're not. They hate their life. They don't love what they're doing. I contend that. You don't love what you're doing if you're using crappy stuff and you're a mess. And you didn't take the time to. Now, maybe you focused on, if you're a year in and you're using a Ryobi pressure washer, now there's a few circumstances where somebody's really frugal, and that I bet you that pressure washer shined up every nice, and the cables are all coiled up, and they figured out a way to hang. But chances are that guy's not going to last very long with garbage. You should be pursuing. You should be chasing better. It doesn't have to be Krensla, but it should be better. It should be well set up. You should have a good extension cord. These are things you're using every day, and so you should be running past what I've learned because you're using it every day and learning tips and tricks and things to make things quicker and more efficient. That's going to be your customers are going to smell that on you. They're going to see it. They're going to see your passion. They're going to want to tip you more. They're going to want to pay you more. They're going to accept higher pricing from you. They're going to promote you to become a successful practitioner. And then guess what? You're going to reach the end of detailing. You're not going to last very long in that business either, because you're going to be on to the next thing. When I started at Merrill Lynch, I left a job where I was going to probably make about $100,000 that year, and Merrill Lynch went to $39,900. I told this story a bunch of times. And I didn't have a lot of money because we were getting married, and so we needed a down payment for the house, and I just bought a ring, right? And so we'd just gotten engaged, and so I was taking a 60% pay cut, and I just bought a $20,000 ring or something like that. And so I sold my motorcycle. I sold all the parts off my car. I bought a bunch of stuff at the stereo shop. I took whatever savings I had, and I bought a $20,000 ring because I believed that was a microcosm of setting me up for my life. I'm going to come correct with that. And I know that's not everybody's bag, but it's the same thing with the pressure washer and all that. And so I had to start. And I don't know how to dress. Like, I didn't know how to wear a suit and all of that. I had to wear a tie at Sound Advice, but I needed to get some suits. And so Jim Heaton bought me this book and gave it to me and said it was a Dress for Success, which is you don't want to be too flashy, you don't want to be too crappy. And so I hired a lady to go shopping with me. And so she found me some deals, but we bought some nice clothing. Not $2,000 suits, but we went to like Men's Warehouse and bought from their nicest stuff and had them fitted. And so I bought 5 suits. I think it was a couple $1,000s to get my whole wardrobe set up. So that way I could show up for a client and it wasn't a thing. Right? And so to me, if you show up to a client, a client doesn't know a suit from anything. A client doesn't know a pressure washer from anything. But if you're showing up with the right tools of the trade, you invest in yourself. I didn't have the money, so I put it on my credit card, and I paid it off over, and paid it. By the time my credit card bill came due, I'd, had a few paychecks, and I just neat, or I figured out, how am I going to get this done? And so I contend, and I know this is a long drawn out thing, and this is a great comment, great, I think it's a great comment, because I take all this heat, Bert. Well, Matt, you're already successful. You only like expensive things. I don't think it's that. There's a passion for the thing. There's a passion for what it is I do. When I'm washing a car, I have a passion for the process, and it's so wonderful when you have a lift and all these great things. And I understand you can't get that all today. But the attitude that the rich are rich and the poor are poor, are less fortunate. The only reason they're less fortunate is because of the scenario that I, said. Occasionally, you were abused. Occasionally, you didn't have the right upbringing. It's hard to get out of that cycle. But showing up late, showing up without a purpose, not investing in yourself, not being educated, not doing these other things is your fault. That's what losers do. Don't do that. And so I read that, and I was just like, wow, this is I guess how most people think. I have a hard time relating to that, because no matter if I had money or not, money means, I've said this 100 times, money means nothing to me. Now it's even more of a game than anything. How can I create an arbitrage opportunity with the dollars that I have coming in? And then how can I take those dollars and make more dollars out of the dollars? Because if I just keep the dollars, what am I going to do with them? What do I care? It's a game, and not a game of buying Dogecoin or whatever. That's a losing game. That's a loser's game. Just like attempting to become a detailer. Rick always says, don't say trying. When somebody says, I'm going to try to make it, they're not coming. You can take it to the bank. If you're trying to be a detailer, just hang it up. You're not passionate about it. If you're not shopping on ObsessedGarage.com every day, saying, man, I really can't wait to get this. And you can't buy it all at once. I understand that. But you should be investing in yourself. And if you're angry listening to this, you're going to have a tough life, man. If you're not thinking about, how am I going to prove people wrong? How am I going to, chase, being super successful? I was watching this guy who he's copying my videos now of the pressure washing, the goofy pressure washing process we made up of testing them. Mm-hmm. Like how could someone copy that? It's the dumbest thing ever. Like, I cut a hole in the bucket and I'm spraying it in there. I guess he thinks that that's just like the way to do it, so he doesn't have to honor the source of it. But he's talking about all these cheap pressure washers, and he's selling me as a successful detailer, and he's using garbage. He's using an active pressure washer. Well, he's not a successful detailer, and she's just a cheapo. And so you guess what's going to happen? It's a microcosm. You're going to have cheapo clients. You're going to have cheapo cars. You're going to be cleaning puke off the backseat of vans. You're going to end up doing things you don't want to do. Look at Bradley Nielsen. He's freaking working on Ferraris. He's got good products. He didn't get it all at once. He's got this beautiful shop. He just expanded it. He's 24 years old. So he's the opposite. He's the example of he chased, he learned, he invested. He freaking moved to Ohio to learn from a great detailer. He's always calling me about this product or that product. Hey, can the ramps I have are no good. He's not accepting the fact that the race ramps are what he has. He's looking for something that doesn't break, all the time. So he's finding he's always having to buy new ones because he doesn't like the way they look when they get all beat up. They still work. That's what I'm talking about. Bradley bought a Krenza way before he probably should have. And his broke, and he had to fix it and all that stuff. But that's a classic example of he's passionate. I called him. He's 24 years old. I called him to say, what wheel coating should I be using? I didn't call Rennie Doyle. I didn't call Jeremy Stevens. I have all these guys' numbers. I didn't call Todd Cooper. I called Bradley. I called a 24-year-old. He just graduated college. I called him and said, dude, what should I use? That's what I'm talking about. don't have that mentality. Don't go there because you're going to lose everything. Your life is going to suck. Don't do that. Am I making sense here?
Definitely.
Am I nuts? I am nuts, but
not because of this.
So I just read that comment and I figured I'd address it on the podcast here. If you're having a hard time with it, you just don't understand, you're screwed. You got to hunt that in the trash. I do understand. What I don't understand is showing up late. Don't understand not investing in yourself. I don't understand doing something that you don't like. I was clearly not destined to be a wealth management guy forever, but I really liked the data, the idea that I could, sift through, information and figure out what to buy for people that might generate a decent return.
Well, it's good. I think it's resonating with people here who are listening because we get lots of positive feedback here.
So, and I'm using a pressure washer as an example because we all relate to that.
Yeah.
And I'm selling a crappy Karcher and a crappy Active. And because you're going to have that crappy thing at some point. But you can't make excuses for that and how it's better. It's not. It's flat out not. James and I just had a discussion. He makes the darn thing. And he had all these vendors calling him saying, the Active, the guys making the Active, it's the same as the Simonize and all those others. So he makes them. He contract manufactures them. He goes to China and makes the thing. He has the relationships there, and they import them, and they do all that work. And so he's a great manufacturer. I'm a great marketer. The two of us together can make something really, really great. And so he's like, this is not a Krensla. He's like, I'm not putting an Active in my garage. But we're going to make the best we can with the resources and the price point that we're targeting. The Krensla's not made to a price point. They just make it whatever it is, and then whatever it costs, it costs. Same thing with the Viper chair. By the way, the more time I spend on the Viper chair, you're going to start to hear me, stop making. I mean, it's freaking great. It's good. At first, I wasn't 100% sure, and having spent more and more time with this version of it, it's freaking awesome. And anybody who says $500, I would wager. I wonder what the percentage of people that would complain about a chair costing $500. I really wonder what the percentage of them are successful. Now, I understand in some cultures, it's all about, beating the price down, you're bartering and things like that. You want to get a good price for something, and they use the term overpriced a lot. But generally speaking, I think if you took a subset of the population of the commenters and the non-commenters that are ones that are thinking $500, it better come with gold casters, I would be willing to bet that they have a really contentious relationship with their boss. They have a boss. That boss doesn't like them. They don't like their boss. Everybody's out to get them. They've just never been blah, 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 blah. I would be willing to bet that 98% of those complainers about a $500 chair, if you're not thinking, man, I want that chair, but $500 are just not there yet, then you're going to get one. But if you're saying $500, that's nonsense, you're going to lose at everything forever. Infinity. You might as well just hang it up. Just jump off the roof. So, anyway. What else?
Me, I'm frugal. But
yeah.
I bought this chair.
Right.
With my own money because I worked at home and I was sitting down a lot. And this is a $1,000 chair.
Yeah.
But
you're also a lifestyle guy.
Yeah.
Right? When you say that?
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably be, you could be somewhere doing something you hate and be miserable and maybe making more money. But it's not everybody wants to do something they hate just to get by, to make a little bit more. But there's that, I've never heard you say, man, that's too much. No way. It's always, I don't value that, so I'm not into that.
Yeah.
You're not like getting all bent out of shape about it,
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not buying that. I don't even care how much money I have. I'm just not interested in it. But if there's something that you value, then you're going to do it. And I think if you can shift your mindset that you're going to have a better relationship with your future than you would if you're in this $500 better come with gold attached to it. That's garbage. I wouldn't like it if it was garbage. Or that mentality of you only like it because you're selling it, or you only like it because you have money, or, well, how do you think I got it? It's not by showing up with a freaking janky Ryobi pressure washer because I'm too lazy to learn how to do it right. So think about that. You think about that.
All right, 2 quick little notes here from the comments. So our new friend Scott, Dryce Scott, he's in the chat here. He said the author of Dress for Success lives by me in Eustis. I met him when campaigning for mayor here, so maybe he can.
The whole concept of Dress for Success is that you. Maybe if I had some water to sip on, it wouldn't be choking.
Can't have any of this.
I'm looking at the GSF over there. I'll just start drinking that. There's hydrochloric acid in there. I'll be dying.
You're fine.
The concept is that you would you dress not so modern and flashy that you look, you're calling attention to you're making too much money, or dressing so ratty and that you're calling attention to the fact that you're not successful. So the idea is to show up in the room and it doesn't grab any attention. It's just appropriate. So there's an appropriateness to it. That's something I kind of live by.
All right, one more point here. I thought you would appreciate this. This is from Anthony in the chat. If you buy a $200 pressure washer and then later upgrade to a $1,000 pressure washer, you might as well buy the $1,000 one first on credit because you can consider the first $200 as interest.
If you have intentions to use that for leverage. Otherwise, wait until you can buy the $1,000 pressure washer. So I'm telling all these people that are buying pressure washers to wait. This is what I'm talking about with New Age. The cabinets are freaking flat out garbage. I was over at Clay's house. I'm like, it's been a while since I put my hands on these things. They're terrible. Just stop this nonsense of, oh, they're good. They're pretty good. No, they're not. If you had them, you screwed up. I'm sorry. You screwed up. It's okay, but you screwed up. You're stuck with them. I don't care if it's in bold or pro. They're not good. It's just not good. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It's like putting potpourri on poop. It's just, you just can't do it. Just wait. Just wait. Wash your car with a hose and wait. Now, if you have to wait 7 years, don't wait. Buy a Karcher. But if you got to wait 3 months, wait. Save a few bucks. Wait till Christmas. Pull your resources. Don't run up credit card debt and do that kind of stupid stuff. Wait. Or what I did a lot of times, I'd wait until it was a stretch, but I knew I could pull it off. There might have been a risk. That's what I've lived my life by, is just a little bit of risk, but like a built-in barometer. I have like there's a barometer, this built-in amount of risk. Probably shouldn't have bought a Dyne Audio yet if I just wait. But if I'd be waiting, I'd still be waiting for my whole life, And so there's Chris on one side, and then there's Bryce and Kyle and those guys on the other side saying go go go, and Chris is saying, well, might want to slow down, and I'm kind of in the middle, because those guys are spending my money, right? They don't know, and Chris knows how much money there is, and so there's the yin and the yang, and I think it's a great balance, And then sometimes I'm out front, but a lot of times I'm out in front of everybody. So there's that. There's a little bit of that sort of reaching, but don't reach knowing you're going to pay 18% on your credit card. Just know that if you buy that pressure washer, you might not be able to take it as an extravagant vacation or skip the vacation. Do what I used to do, talk Michelle into getting something cool. Say, let's just skip that and let's stay home.
All right, let me get to a couple super chats here that came in. Alligator Window Tent, our friend Martin. Going back to that question of the guy about PPF on his truck. They do have a 10 mil, but it doesn't stretch or fit curve as well. My truck has a regular XPEL on the front. So he sells the stuff, he installs the stuff, he knows stuff. That would be his recommendation. Quick thing here from Ricardo. Any word on the OG Mosmatic nozzle and 4.0 restock? Yes, hopefully next week. We got some in today, and we sent them right back because they were 1/4 inch and not 1/8. So that's going to be a little bit longer. Let me get to a couple other super chats from Kurt Ashball, $20 super chat here. What are your thoughts as a consumer when you attempt to purchase something online and it is on back order? Do you give it a second chance? Or excuse me, you do give it a second chance and say in bold. At what point do you quit going to that site?
Assuming he's talking about our side, you just freaking buy it and wait for it. If it's on back order, there's a reason. So I would always just order it. If it's something I wanted and I knew it wasn't in stock, and if I knew that things, and I do this all the time. I just got those plugs, right? I ordered them like 3 months ago. I mean, I just paid for it. So no. The lady, they emailed me back, or I'm waiting on those router tools. They're like $400. I think they're talking about finally shipping soon. And it
was like 6 months ago.
Yeah. And it's something I know that I know that's what I want, and I want to just pay for it and have it locked down. I want to have it locked down. I'm not going to get all entitled, and if you keep waiting on something that has a high demand and low volume, you're going to be sitting there waiting for the rest of your life. And so I would say that chances are the reason we don't have it is because no one has it. And the only companies that have it are the ones that suck at delivering it, don't know anything about it, and that's no one's buying it from them. And so that's why they have it. And so that's, I generally like to lock down my spot on things. So that's why I suggest a Krenzel pressure washer is going to be on back order for a while because of global demand, global output. The freaking Europeans are still sitting at home twiddling their thumbs for some stupid reason. And so stop. I would just give the money and wait for it, and it'll come, and you'll get it quicker that way. I found that I always get things quicker that way. Order a car, order something. Hey, let me just pay for it, and I'll lock my spot down. Let's go.
All right, Clean as Dirt has a great suggestion here with regard to your trees in your yard. He says, Matt, plant a couple of bonsai trees. That'll satisfy the HOA.
Like a little baby bonsai tree will take 1,000 years to grow an inch.
Just put like 2 of them out front. These are trees. That's good. Andy 2000, why do I have to watch freaking commercials before accessing a live stream? Probably because you don't have, what is it called, YouTube?
Yeah, stop being a freaking poro.
What's it called?
Get YouTube Red.
Okay.
Cost you like, what is it, like $10 a month or something?
I think $9.99 or something.
Yeah, if you watch a lot of YouTube, you save yourself the trouble. Stop freaking complaining about it. How do you think we get paid to do this? It's free. You're not paying anything. Pay the $10. Stop complaining. Like a freaking baby. That's the guy. That's the guy that's using a Ryobi pressure washer for the rest of his life. That's the guy whose boss hates him, and he hates his boss, and it's everybody else's fault. It's everybody's fault. Why are there ads? Why is that chair $500? Why am I not getting a promotion? Why is my bonus no good? Why did Taco Bell fire me? Why won't Wendy's hire me? That's why. Sorry to be harsh, but that's why.
All right, we have a super chat here. What are those? That's pound sterling, 9.99 of those from Coastal Rider. Big hello from Scotland. Just a message to say keep up the good work.
I've been,
cheers, Chris.
I've been, I kind of want to go back to the motherland. I'm Scotch, Irish, and Scottish. English, Irish, Scotch, Irish, I think it is, and German. That's hence the.
How'd you figure that out? Did you do the 23andMe kind of thing?
No, it's a family.
Oh, okay.
Like my mother's maiden name is McAdam. So it's pretty Irish there. So I'm from over in that part of the pond.
All right, let's see. Brandon wants to know. Chris, is that the new water bottle? Yes, it is. It's called Just
that's
Peachy.
Your monthly.
Yeah, this is the April bottle.
See, I don't want to get some girl crap. These are for girls. You're the only male monthly subscriber. They're all ladies.
That's fine. I'm in good company.
But we have it did inspire me 2 weeks ago. You talked about the blender bottle monthly, whatever it's called.
Color of the month.
And then right below that, it said, make your own custom bottle. I'm like, let me check this out. Maybe instead of doing some janky knockoff, we can do the real thing. Sure enough, within an hour, I had the guy email me saying, here's the order form, here's the pricing. The problem is it's going to take, 3 or 4 months to get.
Yeah, it's a 75-day lead time.
So we have OG spec blender bottles coming with an OG logo on. Will you use that?
I'll be the first customer.
Okay.
I will pay full price.
Full cost price.
Yes.
You might even buy 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely buy 2.
I'll have 20 of them.
This is worth whatever we charge.
That isn't girl.
Yes. It's going to be what
this is 4 girl colors.
Yeah, there's a color up here, too.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Those are girly as it gets.
Oh, good stuff.
Whoever came up with that combo is a girl.
Fired.
Is a girl with no style.
Let's see. A couple things here in the chat here from your little mini sermon. Kevin Kerp says, being cheap is one of the most expensive things you can do. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, you're going to suck at life. Stop being cheap, Chris.
Wayne Freeman says, I'm on the far side of 40, and this resonates with me, but it's really hard to have this convo with younger guys. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, even 40, 50, 60-year-olds a lot of times are even worse. They're just like, this woe is me. Everybody's out to get me. I'm telling. This is what I've been harping on the guys next door. Like everybody here, it's like you may not get what you're hoping for right away because it might not be available. But if you're the guy that's showing up late and grabbing the shovel first, if you will, if you're not that guy, then you want to be the guy where whoever's in charge of divvying up the money is nervous that you're going to lose you, instead of thank God they're gone. And stop blaming it on everybody else. It's just such a bad way to live. Where I got in trouble is I was always pushing too far, like trying to do things too. I'm not saying it was benevolent because I should have known my place, but I was pushing so hard. If they were smart, like at Raymond James, they would have tried to figure out, carve out a spot. I'd probably still be doing it. Would have been a mistake. Thank goodness they're stupid. But I mean, they should have carved out a spot. I said, man, this guy's onto something. Let's give him some resources to keep him out of trouble, and they're just looking at they're looking what they knew, and so I'm always harping on everybody here. Just put in the effort, and when it does come, and the hardest part with older guys, they know that it takes time, but with younger guys, they want it right now. Well, sometimes it takes 6-7 years. You just have to you have to see it. That you have to drop that whole baggage of, well, they're taking advantage of me and I'm not, I'm not being, value isn't being seen. You just have to have a little bit of a barometer for that kind of stuff. Now, sometimes you can work for some people that are real douches, or companies that really do take advantage. But so what? Figure out how to leverage that. Figure out how to carve out your spot. Do more, even if it's just for you. And if you're not passionate about it, you're probably in the wrong spot. And if you're 40 or 50 and doing that, why can't you're smart enough to talk yourself into something better that you would want to do? You aren't not smart enough to do that. You don't have enough life experience to do that when you're younger to like know that you could literally go start knocking on doors of businesses that might be something of interest to you and talk yourself into a job pretty quickly. Probably making more money than you're making now. I mean, who's going to stop you? And yeah, 90 out of 100 was going to say no, and 10 are going to say yes, and 9 of those you didn't really want, but you'll find the one. Those places aren't hiding. I mean, everybody's looking for great employees, but what they're not looking for is some annoying old prick that's stuck in his ways that isn't going to be willing to grow. Shoot, you can grow at such a faster rate the older and more experienced you are than if you're younger. You can grow at a massive rate. Take all that life experience of learning. You know how to study, hopefully. You know how to learn. You know how you know yourself better. And if you don't, start working on that. Figure it out.
All right, let's see. Adam wants to know, when will the inlet hoses be available? Hopefully next week. They shipped from California on Tuesday of this week. So hopefully Monday or Tuesday next week.
Yeah.
Our supplier had a issue getting yarn of some sort that he needed.
We got
in
all
the
this
hose.
yarn next door.
That's what I said. He should just come here, buy all that yarn. A couple of Viper chair questions here. Would a Viper chair work for a desk? I broke my current desk chair. Henry wants to know.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff's and the guys have been using it, but I don't know that I would want that.
Yeah,
But yeah, you could get the full. It just depends on what kind of desk sitter you are. You know, if you're up and down all the time, yeah, it'd be perfect. But if you're you sit there at the desk typing away all day, probably not.
Yeah. Let's see. Kevin wants to know: did you keep the back on yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do think the back is the way to go. I like it. If anything, it helps you push around on it. You know.
Oh, yeah, gives
so
you a
I
little...
can it's like the back becomes my control. Or you saw the picture of the genius idea that we came up with, where you flip it around, cool guy style, and you use it to lean your gut against to hold you up while you're polishing. You can put your elbows and your elbows on your knees and kind of hold your polishing position.
Thomas Collier says, "Hey guys, hoping to stop down soon. Is the store open to the public still?"
Yes.
Yep. Come on in, Thomas. I am Daniel Max. We have a super chat here, $5. Please listen to hard rock and motivating music at the gym. I listen to Maddie's rants that change your life. Also working out to eat more zebra cakes.
I'm making a shift. I'm serious about this. Obese garage comment is legit. I've gotten at least 10 obese garage comments.
I filtered out a few emails of people who had screenshots in certain bad positions of you that they wanted you to see.
What is wrong with people?
They were pretty funny, but
was it funny ones or was it they were trying to?
A couple were trying to be mean, I think. So
yeah.
Get rid of those.
Come and say that to my face. That's all I say. They wouldn't do it because they're freaking pansies, cowards. Come say it to my face. I dare you. You wouldn't do that. Even if you were a big giant, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do that. So don't do that online. Have some. We talked to. I think a lot about this, and talked a lot about this in my strategic alliance group, and about the maturity level of social media platforms. That people, no matter what age you are immature in their use of a new thing, a new technology, a new way to interact. And as you use it more, you become more mature in it. I've matured in it, considerably. I feel like I'm a high school student now. Where I started, I was an infant. And so the vast majority of people haven't put enough time or thought into how to utilize it, so they're acting as infants. And even if you're 60 years old, you can act like an infant because you just don't know how to use the platform and you haven't really thought through how to manage it. And guys like me who have spent and now built a career on the platform we've started to develop a little bit of expertise around how to manage it. Someone like Adam LZ, even though he's younger, I would say is he's a graduate student on how to manage the social platform. Whereas the vast majority of people that are just have a Facebook profile and are picking fights on vaccines and crap, they're toddlers. You need to learn how to manage, how to navigate that world. So don't send frickin' pictures to people about their weight, about their family, about what do you think they don't know that? Like just you don't comment on how people look. You don't comment on how people are. About their family. Just don't do that. You're gonna get yourself killed. One of these days, you're gonna say, if you say that in person, which you wouldn't, someone's gonna literally punch you in the throat and your your windpipe is gonna explode. You do it to the wrong person. Just don't do it. Stop.
All right, let's see here. Any update on when the 1622 TS will be back in stock? Mid-May, Rick, is when the next container comes with those. And we actually pre-bought a bunch of them ahead of time just to reserve them for our customers because they're having a hard time getting them. Let's see. Super chat from Mark210SA. Fun question for you, Matt. If you could blow up one of Adam's cars and one of Tommy's cars, which car would it be?
I don't know. Probably those Chasers. Those things are hideous.
Chaser.
Yeah. Some Japanese bull crap. I think they both have one.
Oh, and FDB is telling us it's called YouTube Premium. I think YouTube Red is like the TV part of it. YouTube Premium. Who watches all those ads?
Yeah, I mean, people just think about how much you use. It's like complaining about what a cell phone costs. I mean, I literally use this thing all day, every day. It's the only thing that goes with me. Even my wallet doesn't go with me as much as this does. And so I would spend, $5,000 if I had to because of how much it does. And so the same thing with if you watch YouTube all the time, why the heck are you not subscribed to it? Why would you sit there and watch all those ads? Just think about your life you're going to get back. Stupid. These stupid freaking cheapos doing ad blocker and stuff like that. Support the stuff that's entertaining you. You want it to, you just rely on everybody else to do that for you. Those are the same. Again, microcosm. That's a snapshot of the way your life is going to go. Everybody else is going to treat you that way. Just because you're sneaking around getting yours while everybody else is paying your bill. Do the right thing. Take your cart back at Walmart. Eventually, you won't have to go to Walmart anymore. You can go to Target. And then eventually you won't go to Target. You only go to, to Saks Fifth Ave. I don't know. I'm just making this up as we go.
We have lots of other people here excited about the OG blender bottle. That's good because we bought a lot of them. So
yeah, I think about it doesn't really apply, but it's one of those things like, brands that I like. I'd rather have that bottle logo than something else. Oh, shoot, Travis from Dyne Audio calling. I was calling to ask about it's Apple AirPlay 2, not AirPlay 1, even though all their literature says AirPlay 1. Stuff that, matters to I'm interested in.
And also, we got the full-size blender bottles. We didn't get those little baby ones. I don't like those baby ones.
Yeah, those are for babies. We're not freaking babies.
Wayne Freeman says, "Hey, Matt, thanks for turning me on to Wolf Appliances. We're getting new kitchen stuff this summer, and their customer service is awesome." Yeah,
I like it. I mean, there are better appliances than Wolf, but that's debatable, I guess. But I just like the package, the whole thing, how they. They used to have really terrible customer service when I think Sub-Zero had terrible customer service and, or terrible websites and stuff. But now they have a really great product and they're great. I haven't had to call or talk to anybody. I was able to figure it all out myself. They gave me all the literature. But if I did need something, I had the data for it. And you're going to pay more for that. That goes back to the same thing. I mean, if you're a chef and you're cooking on GE, at some point you're going to want to get something good. Dacker or, I don't know, a Thermador or, I think Viking's probably pretty junky, but Wolf or even ones that I don't know. What's those like $100,000 French ones? You see those that are made out of like clay. There's some crazy stuff out there, but
that's not in my.
I love the Wolf. Wolf to me is like Porsche. Just appeals to me. Can't wait to get mine.
We have some people asking if we're going to have Obese Garage shirts. Only available in 2XL and up.
I'm sorry, people. We were moving to the lake house, and I was really motivated. And then when the lake house didn't come, I'm like, well, screw it. And then I knew we were moving in this house, and so it's one of those things where we all do this. So you get into like a major project and you don't eat, and you're freaking starving. And you're like, well, I'll just eat whatever. And so I this was the first time in my life where I just said, I'm just not going to the gym for like 2 months. I'm just not going. I just didn't go at all.
Do you miss it?
I mean, I've not gone to the gym. Like I go like one day and then like go like the next week. But I'm always thinking about it. I need to go. This is the time I'm just not going. Michelle's like, what do you mean you're not going? I said, I'm just not going. She's like, well, I don't understand. I said, what's not to understand? I'm not going. For how long? Probably like a month or two. And so now I'm back. Today was the first full week back. I went back on Saturday, and I've got a little twinkle in my eye again. Look out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and I've gone in, which for me is not something I like to do, but it's scaled.
Mm-hmm. But
scaled like we were doing a 115-pound squat snatch, and the workout I did 95. It's amazing the difference though, in that that 20 pounds can make. Or we did devil presses, which is a stupid movement, but we were doing those. I did 40-pound dumbbells instead of 50. But then in a few weeks, then the 50 will feel just fine. So it's on. I think Who knows? I'm going to keep my mouth shut, and I'll let everybody know what I did after I've seen some results.
Right. Well, you see the results, then it'll let us in on the secret.
Yeah, but I flirted with 250 again. It's been a while. Been a while since I flirted with 250. 250 is the point where like putting socks on becomes laboring, or then I'm doing some breathe heavy on the videos.
Oh, yeah, the videos, people are noticing you're breathing heavy and you're sweating 2 minutes into it.
That's not true, but yeah, that is part of the deal. That's why I have the lift now, so I don't have to bend over. Well, hold on, let me lift this thing up 1 inch, because if I bend over 1 more inch, I'm gonna start sucking wind.
LaCroix, not the water, fancy water, but LE is the super high-end range company.
I believe so. Yeah.
La Cornue.
Like
I don't know, La Cornue.
Something like that. Yeah, La Cornue or yeah.
Like
they have these like crazy looking ranges. Awesome.
All right, let's see. We're a little over. I'm gonna get to a couple quick questions.
My sermons have. I got a little more energy today. Notice that? I'm like not falling asleep.
Quick question here. Hey, Matt, I got a 4200 PSI pressure washer. Could I use the Cobra Jet hose with that?
Yeah. And
then use a bigger orifice to lower the PSI?
Yep. Yeah, very easily. No problem.
The Cobra Jet will handle that. Let's see. Dylan on Facebook, Matt, I noticed some pump sprayers in the background of the VE52 video. Are they any better than the IK pump sprayers? Will they be coming to the store soon?
Samit has been after me. He imports them from Merrill-X. Merrill-X, they're clearly, so I have the Pressols, I have the IKs. The Merrill-X pump sprayers are the best ones. Their foamer's the best one, and their sprayers are the best one. The problem is that they use so much more product. It's just not something that I like, but I know lots of people like them. Yeah, that's the one.
La Cornue.
Yes. How much are they?
There's 5 digits on most of these, so pretty expensive.
Well, yeah. That's nothing. But I think some of them are like
21,000,
70 and up, you know. Some of them get like crazy.
Luxury French?
Yeah.
Purveyors. When you use purveyors,
that's when you know you've made it. I'm gonna be the purveyor. I like that. I'm taking that. I'm the purveyor of.
You're not a curator anymore. You're purveyor.
Look up the definition of purveyor. What is that?
Right.
I need to know this. I like this. I'm taking that. We learned something new today that I'm gonna be ramming down people's throats. I need some new words since I can't say the F word. I need a new one.
Oh, that's not a real good one there. Let's see. No, that's a terrible definition. A person or business that sells or provides something. That's not good.
Yeah. No.
Person or organization that supplies food and provisions. A person who spreads, repeats, or sells. A person or thing that habitually provides or supplies a particular thing or quality. A purveyor of humor, for instance.
Of quality.
We need a better definition. So someone who supplies goods, often food or drinks.
Oh.
If you're a seafood purveyor, you always smell a bit fishy, according to this. That's funny.
All right, scrap it. Scrap the word.
Sounds good until you.
I don't know what I was talking about before that, but.
Okay. Well, we got a super chat here from Yoshi. What's he say? What do you think of Alcantara trim in an E9X?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a bunch of it in the Alcantara in the car with the center console or the armrest and the seats, the M Performance seats. So yeah, I mean Alcantara on where I have the carbon leather stuff. I think would look pretty good. So yeah, I think Alcantara does look really good in an E92.
All right, 2 last things here. Oh, somebody's saying you're a purveyor of Little Debbie's.
I'm a purveyor of obesity.
He's a consumer of it. Owen says, any thoughts on doing a home theater giveaway like you do with garages? It's an interesting idea.
Yeah. Probably not.
Okay.
Maybe we can talk Dyne Audio into doing we could do a high-end giveaway of Focus HDs or something like that would be cool. I'm sure I could talk him into it.
All right, this is a good one to end on here. Let's see. From Space Gray N55 on Instagram. Hello, Chris and Matt. I'm thinking for the next giveaway, the winner should have an option to sit down with Matt and have the privilege of watching Heartland while consuming Little Debbie's. I can even make some Pressall straw lid attachments for the winner so Matt can drink GSF out out of the bottle to wash down the snacks.
Yes.
There's a lot of thought in that.
Yeah, it depends on where I'm at on my my fitness journey, but I could always be convinced if I'm working out and fit, I can eat all the Little Debbies I want. Yeah. Maybe not all I want, because then I would eat nothing but that. But
all right, please have another live stream. With the Little Debbie cakes. That was a good time. Okay, here you go. This is a good last question here. How's the pup doing with the fence? So how's Chase doing with the fence? He's
doing great. The the poop guys are people. They chopped the fence again. So Chase took off the other day. I had to go chase him down. But yeah, no, it's great. Michelle, it's like her favorite purchase of all time. He just goes out and chills, and he gets all these dogs to come visit him every day, and they play with him a little bit. People use Chase as like their little energy zapper. So they bring their dogs, they run around in our yard for a little bit, and since they're all excited, they don't take dumps in my yard, so it works out great. And then they go take a dump on somebody else's yard, and Chase gets some entertainment. It's awesome. The guy's living his best life. And then we're getting rid of all the mulch, so he won't be all mulchy anymore. That'll be helpful.
No mulch.
And then we've got our grass coming around. Chris, our landscaper, is awesome. So he's been, I guess it's like vacuuming up the grass. And then once the grass starts to take in the summer, we're gonna have the best yard in this darn community. You stupid freaking HOA Nazis! I'm gonna take them out.
So we'll have an update.
There's a guy who has a bull. Like a life-size bronze bull, a life-size bronze eagle. He has like 7 life-size, like the size of like the Wall Street bull, like that size in his yard. And they're worried about me fixing the weeds on my landscaping.
Priorities, people. Priorities.
Yeah. Yep. Freaking HOA. I'm gonna learn how to manage them, though. I'm gonna start sweet talking them, figure out who the HOA presidents are, and get to buy them stuff. Start greasing palms. It's gonna be like
palm and hundos.
Yeah, palm and hundos, palm and I don't know, whatever they like. Give them some crab cakes or something from Maryland or something like that. Figure out where they're from and send them something cool.
You need a Le Cornufay.
That's the one. Yeah.
Get him one of those for the clubhouse.
So it's $38,000. Yeah, let me get you one of these. Hey, if I get one of these, can I clean up my poop, guys, or without people giving me a hard time?
Oh man.
Yeah. If you're an HOA president watching this, I'm watching you. This camera,
they probably
put on a drone.
They're watching us right now.
I'm gonna get some candid shots of them, through their glass block. And blackmail them. Unless you let me clean up my poop geyser, I'm going to release these to the internet. Old man. Weird old man. Why would anybody want to do that? Signing off.
All right.
See you next week.
Thank you all for the questions and for tuning in. Appreciate it.